Hey guys, it's still Week of the Young Child and it's now Friday. And I was gonna do Fun Friday and do some music and some motor skills, but I'll save that for next week because I think today we're gonna call it First Friday because this is the first time I've ever gone this long without seeing you guys. And it's the first time I'm ever teaching on YouTube. What? I can't even see you guys. So I have a book that I thought would be totally perfect. It's called My Brave Year of Firsts. What does that word mean, brave? For me, brave means being really strong even when I'm a little bit scared or a little bit sad or a little bit nervous. Like, oh, if you have to go get a shot and you know it's gonna hurt, but you put on a strong face and you don't cry, or maybe you just cry a little bit because you know it's there to help you. Well, I'm being really brave because I don't get to see you guys and I am really, really sad. But I promise, before you go to kindergarten, we're all gonna get to see each other again. I pinky swear promise, and I don't break my promises. Miss Judy and I wanna see you guys again. So today we're gonna read this book called My Brave Year of First, Tries, Sighs, and High Fives by Jamie Lee Curtis and Laura Cornell. This little girl does a lot of things in her first times. Let's get a little closer so you can see. The first time I rode a two-wheeler alone, I crashed and my mom filmed it on her iPhone. I crashed and I crashed. Dad ran out of steam. He let go, I went straight. Mom filmed as she screamed. I got my first pet, a rescued lab Keith. I chose him because we were both missing our teeth. I'll take care of him, I said with a boast. Till the first time I had to pick up his poop, it was gross. My first day I walked straight into first grade. My teacher, Miss Apple, said, "Don't be afraid." At first, I felt like I might not fit in. Then I met my very first friends, my very first twins. Oh, we have lots of twins, don't we? I struggled at first to learn to tie shoes. My sweet Auntie Cookie showed me choices to use. Bunny ears, classic, loop over, under, through. I tried and I tried, till at last I could do it too. I took riding lessons on a pony called Ace. The first time I fell, I got a scrape on my face. But then I held on and I learned how to trot. That giddy up was to go and whoa is to stop. Uh-oh, I found a W at the beginning of a word. We didn't have whoa on our list, did we? First grade was fun, new firsts every day. What a homonym was, what elephants weigh. Not all firsts were fun, some firsts were hard. When I stole Zoe's pencil, I couldn't play in the yard. I asked for permission from my parents to walk with Keith and the twins, my first time around the block. We took some supplies and carried Mom's phone. We felt all grown up to be out on our own. I went with my class to the public library. At first it seemed huge and a little bit scary. Then Joel, the librarian, he got me my card. I found my first book. It wasn't that hard. I also got caught in my very first lie. My parents were cross. I started to cry. I learned a first lesson that to stand up and say, I did something wrong, starts to make it okay. Oh, did you see what she did wrong? She drew with that marker on her little brother's face. Let's not do that. For the very first time I worked with my father. At his restaurant, I wouldn't be a bother. I put out the hot sauce that makes your ears steam. As a waitress, I was a real part of his team. My first kept on coming. My first pony show. My first tummy flu that made me go and go and go. My first big girl heels that made me feel tall. My first ballet class. My first game of t-ball. A fabulous first, my triathlon medal. For my age and my group, a swim, run, and pedal. I raced against time. It was quite a test. While some tried to win, I just tried my best. I got my first case of the giggles in school when the boy with 2 seats over started to drool. Then the milk I was drinking came out of my nose, and I turned very red from my head to my toes. I wanted to learn to make a rope skip, but for all my tries, I just learned to trip. It was very hard to connect hands and feet, till the first time it worked. It was quite a feat. I found a small beetle who was missing a leg. I got him a box and I named him Greg. I punched a few holes to save him from cats. I added some grass. It was my first bug habitat. I got my first bee sting and boy did it hurt. I shouldn't have walked barefoot in the dirt. I sold some flat rocks that I painted and signed, and I made a donation for the very first time. I tried for the first time to taste my mom's truffles that apparently come from when pigs use their snuffles. She put them in pasta with broccoli stems. Try it, she said, but I'll never like them. At the end of the summer, I tubed on my own. I bounced on the water like a skipping stone. The lake was all glassy, smooth, dark, and cold. I held on and signaled just like I was told. And after the s'mores, we camped by the lake, my very first tent that Dad let me stake. All cozy and warm in my bag with a pad, I thought about all the fun firsts that I had. And I climbed the big rock. I was old enough now. My dad showed me step by step so I'd know how. I looked down at the lake and I jumped without fear. When I came up and smiled, the entire lake cheered. Look at that high jump. Some firsts just happen, some come when I try. Some firsts make me smile, some firsts make me cry. But I knew at that moment, though I've known all along, that first things first happen when I'm brave, true, and strong. So even though we're not gonna get to see each other much for the rest of this year, I promise you that I'm gonna be brave if you're gonna be brave. And we're all gonna listen at home to moms and dads so that we are so ready for kindergarten. And I promise that we'll all get together before we all start kindergarten. You guys be safe. Thanks for celebrating Week of the Young Child with me, and I'll see you next week. Bye.